Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Samo on Twitch and on Twitter. A member of the Hashira podcast where we talk all things anime and nerd. And we're so glad that you've been rocking with us. Thank you guys for checking out our content recently and for going through some of our older videos as well. If you like what you see and you're glad about it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to find out more things that's going on here and to be parts of more of the conversations that we're having about anime and nerd stuff. So, today we're missing one, but still, I've got the Hashira with me. Over there is Dean, that's Black by Nature 66. Then we've got Tom, Nobunaga Deno, and of
Yep.
course, the man behind the activity and the ability, that's Ed, and Edwin. And we are the Hashira Podcast. And today, we've got some good stuff for you.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
So, in anime, as we all know, the most important part of all anime, I'd have to say, is how they interpret what power is and what that's going to be throughout the entirety of that universe. And so we have some different abilities from different anime that we want to talk about and kind of pick one from a list that we saw on, I think, was it Twitter, Dean, or Instagram? Where'd you see that at?
It was actually TikTok.
TikTok. Oh, on TikTok. So we saw a list of abilities on TikTok, and we decided to try to pick one and see exactly which one we thought was the best on that list. So, if you guys like anime abilities and you know which one you would pick, let us know down in the comment section below. But here we go, and we're gonna go with ours. We'll talk about it a little bit and kind of name our honorable mentions after it's all over. So, who am I throwing the ball to? I'm throwing it.
Is
Actually,
there-
yeah, yep.
Oh, okay. I'm about to
Throwing it
say.
over there to Black by Nature. Go ahead, bro.
All right. The ability that I'm going with is from Goated Anime. Everyone loves it. It's alchemy from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, the reason why, and I'm gonna, my brief synopsis on this. All right. The reason why I'm going with alchemy. Look at Edward Elric, for example. He has he could do the whole alchemy without the transmutation circle, but he can literally, once you have the, and I say it all, like I say it regardless of what it is, if it's anime, movie, TV shows, whatever it is, if you have the ability to manipulate anything, matter, at your will, you could manipulate it at any point in time, the way you want, however you want, in an instant, blink of an eye, flash, whatever it is. You are broken, regardless of what it is. Now, I don't care. I still feel some type of way. I'm bringing this up.
Don't say it. Don't
Last
say
year we
it.
had the tournament, the Showdown tournament. It was Edward Elric versus Luffy, and that's a perfect example right there. When you have the ability to manipulate matter, Luffy is made out of rubber. If Edward Elric goes up against him, he could just instantly, he doesn't even have to touch him. The ground that he walks on, he could change that. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just, that is just hard to beat. So come on now. If you have that ability, like how can you beat it? The only way I can say you could beat alchemy is with alchemy. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my pick. And if for the viewers who didn't finish or didn't watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I would highly suggest you to watch it. It's a really great and it's an educated anime that gives you the background of alchemy, where it comes from, and how it's developed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pick right there. That's how I'll go with alchemy.
I mean, alchemy is pretty dope. And yeah, again, being able to control matter, break it down, reform it, make reconstruct it. And I think the coolest part is like with alchemy, you kind of get to pick what you want your alchemy to be about, right? Like, there are some guys like flame alchemists and stuff like that. Depending on what you studied and what your family has, sometimes you can literally come out and be able to do different things with different types of stuff, right? We've seen lightning, we've seen fire, we've seen stone, right? Armstrong and punching little stone statue of himself at people. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, it's a kind of cool ability, and I feel like it's very flexible. And it's funny because I think that in that verse, obviously the more alchemy and the way that you use it makes you really strong, but it's always interesting to me, like, because it doesn't seem like it's like super powerful. right? Like it doesn't. I don't feel the destructive nature of it on a large scale, but I understand how good it is when I know, like, you know, the actual like mechanics and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It doesn't have to be right destructive. It's like decomposition and rebuilding.
Right.
Wait, but that wasn't like.
It can be.
Wait, but anybody was able to just like
be an alchemist,
reconstruct and break. No, not be an alchemist, but like to break down and like construct certain things. Because I felt like wasn't Scar's ability was kind of like he was the one that was kind of like deteriorating and
oh yeah, bro,
breaking shit down.
OD.
And then like
and
then Date brought up the fire where Mustang Roy. I remember. I forgot, and then I remembered his name. So he was. I mean, he's doing the snaps, but. Wait, no, he wasn't. Was he using a lighter? I feel like he had a lighter.
Nah,
but no. He had the circle on his glove. So that's when he didn't have the circle on his glove. Then he would use it. If I'm not mistaken, then he would use the fire. So
I don't.
The jump start technique.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess depending on like what kind of alchemy you get. That's always my thing with some of these anime and their abilities. Some of them you just stuck with something stupid unless you figure out how to. You know, like use it correctly.
Really,
I was just about to say that.
That's what I always think about that purple ball head dude from My Hero.
He's OD.
But that name is hilarious.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, he has such a stupid, I guess, looking ability, but if you're smart with it, you actually make it, you know, formidable.
So yeah, no, alchemy is pretty solid. Definitely pretty solid. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say it's a good choice. Why was Edward able to use alchemy without a circle?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was because of that whole, like him. What was it? It has to do with the connection that he has. That
he went beyond because he went beyond the game.
Right, because he went beyond where his body was at. That's the only reason why both brothers was able to do it.
Got you. Okay.
So, because remember, you got an equivalent exchange. You got to give up something to give something. So, because of what they gave up, they received power that other people didn't normally have, and they were able to bring that throughout the whole kind of, I guess, anime.
But would they give up Alphonse's body?
Yeah, remember they were trying to bring back their mom,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and then of course the Philosopher's Stone, you know, all that stuff. But without getting too far.
Oh, hey, nine. Forgot about that dude.
So but I feel like I know Nobunaga's pick, so I actually want to hear this next stack. I'm throwing the ball to you.
All right, for sure. I will. I mean, this comes as no surprise, I'm pretty sure, especially since you kind of guessed it beforehand. But I'm going to go with Nen. I think Nen is only limited by your own imagination in itself. Everybody that is a Nen user and comes to use it, for one, it takes a sick amount of training to become a Nen master. And at the same time, it's just everybody chose their own ability. So if you're stuck with a shitty ability, that's your fault. You know, it's not by chance or anything like that. And I think that it's broken down to so many different levels. It's like, to me, out of the whole list, I think it's like the most intricate system at the same time. And it's an extremely powerful ability. I don't think you could actually like run out of Nen or anything like that. To my understanding, I don't think I've ever seen that happen to a character. So I guess its usefulness relies upon you in itself. So I think the better that you train yourself, you know, the better your Nen is. I mean, just look at Chrollo, for instance, for his Nen ability, which was pretty crazy. I think people have a hard time understanding it to this day. But just him, yeah, there's so many, like I said, there's so many different layers into his ability, and it's because he's trained so well himself that he's able to do the things that he can. And you guys seen from the beginning to the end, there's so many different types of Nen abilities.
Yeah.
And there's the whole aspect of Nen after death, where like people like Ahsoka brought himself back to life because his connection to his Nen was so strong. After Chrollo killed him, he even brought himself back to life even stronger. So,
my man, Dragon Ball Z just wished himself back to life and got power. Zenkai boost.
So let me ask a question about Nen, because I know, what's the purpose of them like forming that contract or that?
So you can put limitations on or contracts. Kurapika is the best example.
Yeah.
He put that limitation on himself to make his Nen that much like I guess, stronger in itself. Because he has the chains, but it's just obviously now he's putting on like the limitations of. It's not even a limitation. It's probably the opposite of that. But it's just a restriction upon. Well, that'd probably be the same thing in essence. But he's doing something to the extreme to get an extreme on the other end as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, despite like when he fought Uvogen, like, bro. And just reading into Uvogen's backstory, because in the manga they really touched on the spider's backstory, and just Uvogen, like all of it in itself, like Uvogen is so ridiculous. But when he fought Kurapika, it was one-sided the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and his Nen ability was specifically designated for a specific group of people. So he kind of funneled it down to just that, which made it exponentially stronger. And on top of that, he put the thing where it's like something around the chain with his heart or something like that. Like he would kill himself if he used it on somebody, if he didn't use it on someone that was a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, if he had used it on Hisoka, he would have killed himself because Hisoka was a false spider the whole time. So good thing he did not do that. But it just shows like certain things that you do, you get a different like exponential outcome for your Nen.
Got you.
So, and that's the thing too. There's contracts that you can place on your Nen within itself to make it even stronger than what it is. And the more and more, I guess, you train in different aspects like Ten, Gyo, so on and so forth. It just makes you even that, I guess, stronger or as an opponent or whatever it is that you're doing.
All right. So,
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. I didn't want to lose this thought while I was thinking it. So the thing with that is, so one, that does sound amazingly intricate. And the question I always actually had is not only because you were saying that it's kind of based off what you want to do. So now with Nen, is that how it works? It's like, I train myself and I decide what I want my Nen to do, or it's like, because like with Gon kind of, you seem about to say, all right, thank you.
No. Okay, so I already know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
So you all have an infinity for Nen, and that's why they do that little test to see what kind of category you fall into.
Yeah.
And that's what you kind of base your power around. But still, even though you fall into a specific category, you almost have an unlimited amount of options in a sense, because there's so many different things. There's so many things that you can potentially come up with that fall into that aspect. I mean, Uvogen and Gon were both enhancers, but they pretty much went different routes of what they were doing. Gon was more childish, came up with he turned a game into his attack, which was rock, paper, scissors. And Uvogen, which had his Big Bang impact along with his other physical abilities. That's why he was able to yell so loud when he yelled at that guy that was on his body with the hair.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how, like, that was insane. That whole scene where he took out all those people and he wasn't able to move, he bit that guy's head off, or half of it off, and he yelled at the other dude, and then he spit the bone out and through the other guy's forehead. That's just all enhancing his body. And there's all different. And then there's the specialist, which is like Kurapika, for instance, and a few other characters where they have an affinity for pretty much all the categories. So, and then at that point, you really.
So is it them?
Yeah, I had a question about that too.
No, go ahead, Dean. I'm sorry. Go first. I already asked the question. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right, so you brought up Uvogen, and his basically then ability was the strength in his physicality and his strength and endurance, whatever. Now
that's specifically for enhancers. So
okay, for enhancers. So if you're not, what is Kurapika? Is a specialist?
Yeah.
If you're not,
he becomes a specialist when he
because of his eyes.
Okay, so
aside from that, if he has an affinity to be a conjurer because he conjures the chains, but when his eyes get turned in whatever red or whatever, he becomes a specialist and he has access to all across the board at that point. That's why Kurapika is so beast.
So you're saying like once you're other than specialist, like once you're categorized in that Nen ability, like you can't like okay, boom, that web, like
you can't venture off into other categories is what you're asking,
right? Not even like venture off a little bit, like like
you can. You know what I mean? So on that, based on that chart, the surrounding ones, whatever is left or right on that chart, you can, I guess, dabble within if you are trained to the peak of your own, your category, from what it seems like, and kind of like, I guess, move in another direction. But you're not like made, or you're not capable of having all that unless you're a specialist.
So one has to be the main one that you're good at. Since you're not a specialist, can use all three, right? So one is the main one you're good at, and then you're able to dabble in the other ones after you have trained yourself to a specific level and have trained yourself in the knowledge of that specific one that you're dabbling in. Yes?
Right.
Okay, cool.
I don't think you have to train yourself specifically, like you like master a level. Because I remember, I think Wing was telling them that he was like that. So let's say enhances at the top, conjuring, and then shit. What is another one? That whatever you could like do like elemental abilities. Let's say whatever, and then the one on the bottom one is like some intellectual thing. If you wanted to, you can train in the other ones, but you'll just never be able to be better than someone who specializes in that one category.
Yeah.
It's just like a limit on how good you can be.
As I say, you
that
can
area.
never master your, I guess, the adjacent, I guess, categories. According to yours.
You could get like
you become
get,
a master in your own aspect, but never the ones that are adjacent to yours.
Okay.
No, but I think you could be decent with the neighboring ones, but if it's like on the complete like opposite side, you probably won't even be able to do anything with it.
So it's a way of keeping itself balanced. It's like weaknesses in Pokemon.
Right. Everything's thrown off if you're a specialist, because then you could just do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to this.
Did they ever introduce any specialists besides Kurata?
There are other specialists in the show, yes.
Oh, for real? Oh, shit.
I'm just saying, and like, for what they have, like Killua being a transmuter, I would say like him just creating his own ability when he came up with the lightning, he was like so used to being tortured and being electrocuted that he knew that his body was built for lightning. And then he came up with his Godspeed. He came up with all that lightning attack and all that stuff. And on top of that, he has other like physical abilities where he can actually strengthen his body. You saw where he like his hand would become enhanced in a sense, and it becomes super powerful. And he just slapped
he had the nails and everything.
Yeah,
exactly. He fought that hand, he just slapped their head right off. But, where she thought she killed him, and then he just, oh man. So, and then you look at Hisoka, who just has the bungee gum, but he's so trained and he's so good at the use of Nen that technique is so deadly.
Yeah.
When he fought Goto, I thought like Goto kind of had him in that part where he kind of twisted himself up with the coins, and then like he released it and moved really fast, and he kind of just started to take it seriously, and just within seconds he killed Goto.
Yeah, but
Bungee
Gum is wild. Now I was just thinking about Bungee Gum because he's a wild boy. Like
he is.
Hisoka is really
and it's
wild.
Just he brought himself back to life because he used the Bungee Gum within his body to protect his organs and his heart, and then he told the Bungee Gum like to keep his organs safe, and it kept him alive when after Crollo set the bombs off on him. Right. Crollo is a ridiculous man, by the way, because he used people from the audience and tagged a majority of them with bombs, but turned a lot of other ones into zombies too, in a sense, from Shalnark's ability. Listen, and he was hiding within the crowd and switching his face. Switching his face.
OD. He did all that to fight one dude? He a sucker.
Well, you got to, yeah.
He's a sucker.
Dang.
He's switching his face too at the same time, like switching who he is with people in the crowd, using people in the crowd as drones to attack Hisoka, and some of them are actually bombs. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts,
like I said, when Hisoka was supposedly dead, the Nen kind of kept his body alive and became more powerful. And just the levels of like his ability just became just way better. And I don't know, there's so many different menus that you can think of, and once you find what category you fall in, like I just feel like just learning all the different types of I guess aspects of Nen, because it's not like you have to have an enhancer ability to strengthen your body, because there's other parts of Nen that kind of strengthen parts of your body too. Probably not as strongly as an enhancer, but you would still have, I guess, a stronger physical form once you master certain parts. And some of these guys are OD without even using their actual Nen ability, their Hatsu. Just using certain aspects of Nen, you're already like, you're ridiculous. So
yeah, I was about to say, because training yourself to use Nen would obviously train your body too, and therefore it makes a lot of them stronger physically, right? Normally, like just strong, like Gon is powerful, like
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that makes along with those.
Wait, Gon is a enhancer, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he's physically strong and everything. So, yeah, no. I mean, listen.
And you can use it for many things that not just fighting. Look at Leorio, his ability. He can physically move his hands in a, well, not physically, but he moves it in a different space in order that's going to help him with the surgery, you know. Like Takanoda had a different ability that wasn't for that. She can look into the memories of people and see what they know. There's just a bunch of different stuff that you can use, you know, to better yourself. And like I said, at the same time, even though she was weak physically, her level of training because what is it, Gon and Killua could not beat her because the amount of aspects or other parts of Nen that she has trained, they couldn't even beat her. You seen when they first caught Gon and Killua in that building, and they tried to jet. Like, yo, Finks and the other guys were up there in a second, and Killua started moving around the room as fast as he could, and Finks just is looking at him. He's just like, all right, and he just grabs him by the leg. He's not using any net, like his actual net ability. It's because he's so trained through the other aspects of Nen that he's able to do that stuff. He's probably using Gyo to see exactly where, because that's putting an extra net ability on your eyes or whatever to see, you know, more than the actual human can normally. And that's how you easily caught up to Killua. And you already know how fast Killua is.
You know, which is definitely wild. So Nen is solid. I feel like definitely a solid choice there. Sheesh. I feel like we could continue talking about that dude forever.
Truth be told, I was gonna pick Nen, but I was like, this dude Tom probably gonna want to pick Nen. So.
and wait, even so, like, what Tom, what did you still categorize like the Nen ability to be like in the complex category kind of thing? Being that because it's so intricate.
You know, he started out with that, saying it was one of the most complex ones, intricate ones on the list.
Yeah, I would say for sure. I like I said, I don't remember everything that was on the list, but Nen definitely takes. I can't say top,
I would agree.
It's definitely up there, at least top 2, top 3.
Yes, I agree.
Fair enough. All right, yo, Ed, talk to me, man.
I'm picking stands from JoJo's, man.
Wow, I gotta hear this. I've been waiting for this.
I mean, so like we said before, it's not that I don't like them, but most of the abilities in anime is kind of like already like predetermined. So like, I'm a fire user, and then that's it. I kind of like got no choice. I just got to use fire. So at least like with Nen, like Tom said, you could, you know, pretty much do whatever you want. And I feel like stands are kind of similar because for the most part, your stand that is created is like through your like, I don't know, your subconscious or something like that. So like you have like this whole little, I mean, if you can get one, I'm not sure if anybody can just get a stand, you know what I'm saying, through your own will. So it was that. And then Dio was shooting people with the arrows, and he would give you a stand if you were, you know, strong enough to take on the stand. But so like the fact that you know, based on my psyche or whatever, my subconscious, I could create a stand ability. I think that's pretty cool because I would personally like to see, like, you know, like what kind of different random little character would you know, like pop out and that'll be my stand ability. Because so one character I liked a lot from JoJo's story was Rohan Kisabe. I think that's his. So it was mad. So like I seen that character, and I'm thinking like, damn, like that's cool as fuck because he was a manga artist. So like his ability, I think, was Heaven's Door, and so he would like put you in like some trance, and then basically turn you and like your whole life or your memories into like a book, and he could like go in there and write shit, erase things. If he just wanted to know about you, he could do it. And you had no clue, like, you know, that he just did all this stuff unless you had some type of I was about to say non ability, some type of stand ability that lets you counter it or whatever like that. Right. So like I said, so like the fact that I could, you know, have an ability based off of my like personality, I found that like really cool. And JoJo's the abilities in that show are like very unique.
That's what I was about to say.
Yo, they really are. That's some of the most creative things like ever, bro.
And the thing is, I'm not even like big JoJo's energy. I'm really not, right? But watching some of the abilities in that show just be hilarious. He's just like, wait, what? Why can
I know?
Why
and I gotta give it to the mangaka because like he'll come up with some like random stupid ability, like
but then it's so useful.
Yeah, and then the characters just use them in such a way where it's like, yo, dang, you were creative enough to think of this ability and then like come up with like a really good way to like implement it into what's going on,
just like
so easily.
What was the Star Ocean girl who had the stickers that was duplicating things?
No,
not
Jolie. Oh yeah. That
sticker, she was duplicating things by putting a sticker or something. Yeah, and peeling them off in order for it to come back together.
When I
saw her using her ability, I was like, damn.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, like the ability to be like so like simple, but like the way they use it, you're just like, like I would have never thought about that. Now, for example, like Jolene, like it was that episode where I believe there was in the prison, and there was in that the big hole, and I guess with the airplane and shit. And then she waited for the officer to come with the radio, and then she sent up one of her little strings to snag the radio. But like the way she did it, I'm just like, yo, I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought, yo, that's
seriously,
that's good.
But
it's those simple things, those simple abilities that like they just make it seem like it's, you know, big brain moments.
Mm-hmm.
But it is big brain moments, and we talked about this on an episode before when we were doing the Bleach captains, how certain captains are only really cool because they take abilities that shouldn't be that great and use them to like use their big brain to create big moments. Like Gin Ichimaru, my sword can just can lengthen and shorten itself. That's what it can do. Now, what I can do with that is different, right? And so, like, I think that is kind of what makes JoJo so cool to watch. Like, there are the overpowered stands who we know are like wild. Like, of course, if we're talking about stands, can I do it for the one time? The world. We got to talk about the world, right? But man, just stop in time. So wild, though. Anyway, so
and it's crazy how he keeps on finding ways to like top that, though.
Is that Star Platinum?
Like, how could?
No, that's the world. Star Platinum is Jotaro.
Is that's the name of Jotaro's stand, because they also have their own names too.
Word.
But like that's the crazy part about it, like this dude Araki always find ways to like make something that's like legit stronger and better than that. Like they're stopping time for like 5 seconds. In the anime, it's like 30 seconds. But like, how do you like if somebody stops you for 5 seconds and is right near you? Like, how do you counter that? He always finds a way to do it.
The only way to counter that is if somebody else could do it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I only did that twice. I think it's only Dio and Jotaro that can like stop time.
Yeah, but
other characters have found ways.
But then remember Giorno was like resetting people. Like,
because his ability went to like some next level.
Exactly. Like, and in JoJo
as well.
It wasn't just only people. It was like items in basically anything.
Everything got stopped. Yeah, no time got stopped in general, and then. You know, he would take the knives out. Shout out to Dio and be throwing the knives at people.
I think on top of that too, though, the thing with the stands is pretty cool. Like your stand has a mind of its own in a sense, right?
Yeah, it protects you. Yeah, stands be protected.
That's what I'm saying. So you always got like it's always something looking out for you at the same time. That's always got your back. So that's pretty.
Yeah, that's
cool.
what I'm saying.
Like,
and if you don't got a stand, I don't think you can see my stand.
No,
so like
you
could be, so. Thinking you all hot mess, and then my stand right behind you and sing. Now you don't even know that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. So I guess when we're talking stands, I got to give it to the creativity. I got to give it to like just how those things can be used and stuff like that. So I think that they just do a lot. Like even we were just talking about Pucci, like all the abilities Pucci had, and kind of if you haven't finished on Ocean, I'm sorry, but like my man just destroyed reality. So like everyone that we knew in that universe is gone. Like technically, we don't know if we'll ever see Jotaro again. Like it's just, like that universe is gone. Like what? So I don't.
No, we're gonna see him again, but he most likely just not gonna be Jotaro. He's gonna have a different name.
It's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying. So and that's a whole ability my man did. Like so, there's so many things that happen that should just be wild. And when they fight, you get to see a lot of them trying to use the creativity against the other person's creativity to create openings and create situations and win fights and create strategies. And it's like, imagine understanding, like we said, understanding your ability so well that you use that in a fight and literally create a strategy around it against somebody else who's done the same thing with their ability. And I think that those are kind of like the coolest kind of anime moments and fights that we get to see generally in a lot of anime. And I think they take that farther when we start talking from like the Godfather, right, of this kind of sort of thing with like Ki from Dragon Ball Z, and then like seeing it kind of change when we go into different anime and creating kind of more complex ways to create situations, strategies, abilities, and so forth, so on. Like I think that's just a really cool idea.
It's the
word.
Yeah. No, go ahead, bro.
No, I'm saying it's a good thing that you brought up. Like basically like the fights, how they have to basically like think outside of the box, because it's one fight that came up to that came up to me was Jolene was fighting the stand user. That I guess if she, what was it, like something repetitive 3 times, like her memory just.
Oh
reset.
Man, that was amazing.
That was crazy.
You only had like 3 memories.
She can only remember 3 things at a time.
Yeah,
the
you
next
can
thing
only
would be
exactly 3 things at a time.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
I'm just like, yo, then she's sitting there writing stuff on her body.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I'm just like, yo, nah, this is ridiculous. And I'm just like, how?
Dang, yeah.
And then this is like,
okay, I remember.
And it's just like all the cops was at her. I'm like, there's only 3 cops right there. Why she just
That
so?
was that chick.
And then next thing you know, it was the
Yeah,
it was
It's
a
like, how
it was
the
a
hell do
hallway
you
full of
get
them.
out of something like that?
Seriously.
It's crazy.
That's called Infinite Tsukiyomi. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll be cutting you for the
And
next
I
72
forgot,
hours.
I forgot about that ability. That was a really good one.
Yeah,
My favorite one is
that
always
was
going to be Bucciarati with the damn zippers.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that daggone zippers. I knew you were going to say the zippers.
My man is just putting zippers everywhere. Like, that's it. Like, I mean, he could travel through, but that was still hilarious. Like, just to think of like, oh, let's make this character have abilities where he just, if he touches you, there's a zipper there. Like, what the freak?
I know they keep using that one scene as a meme though. When it's
man.
like when the teacher says the test is not that difficult, and the dude turns the paper around and just like it's just a flat piece of paper.
Oh, the gun is the test. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so that is
Man.
hilarious. But that's the coolness of like JoJo's. And like, you know, I took a while to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you like go back through our catalog and videos on YouTube, we put out a couple at this point. We were talking about how I wasn't a JoJo's person, how I really didn't flex with it. And I decided to rewatch it. And it's funny because then a little while later, Ed decided to watch it. And so like,
Oh, wow.
it's just funny like when I really got into it, I was like, yo, this is actually kind of cool watching what they're doing. I still think it's a little bit extra with the flashiness and all the jazz, but I do.
That's what makes it so amazing too, man.
Like,
Yeah.
just like the creativity overall, and it's just kind of cool. And I love the way stands are used. And like Kadeem just brought up that was a perfect example of like what
seriously.
happens when they're fighting using these abilities and what they got to do. And I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's fantastic. Unfortunately, it's my turn.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's my turn. And
Let me guess. You choose Yami Yugi.
bro. Anyway, but no, I don't. I was stuck between two. And I'm gonna. I guess I will. I wanted to pick Chakra, and before we started this episode, we were having some talk before we got into actually recording it, because one of the things that Ed said, and I also agree with, is that in the world of Naruto, you can end up having some trash chakra ability. And in Naruto, it's hard to make those trash abilities really great. Well,
I think she's one of the best characters in the show.
You know, 1010 is
for another day.
No, 1010 is nerfed because it's the Wolverine effect. Like, my ability is supposed to kill people, so I can't kill people
Seriously?
in the show. So therefore, they can't make me great. That's
why
why
we put it that way.
You know what I'm saying? That's why Wolverine only really kills Sentinels in the X-Men. You realize he only kills Sentinels technically, but we know his ability is he just can't kill people all the time. You know, he only gets to slice the people that heal themselves, right? He cuts Sinister,
seriously.
stuff like that. That's what happens. That's the thing that happened to 1010. 1010's ability is a bunch of sharp ninja weapons. And you're not supposed to be killing people all the time in Naruto, so therefore she never gets to really wild out. That's just the way it works. But another time for that. But yeah, so you can have some ability in Naruto, and then even if you're a genius, it's still hard to make that ability super great because of all the drawbacks that you could get to balance you in a way that kind of chakra does on its own. Like Shikamaru without the stamina problem would be absolutely wild. That whole shadow.
That's how he almost lost to what's in it to Yuya.
You know what I'm saying?
Back in the Sasuke retrieval arc.
Exactly.
Because he was like extremely limited on the amount of chakra that he had.
Exactly, because his ability is so good, it looks really good, but with that chakra stamina situation, it messes you up. And that's the thing with Naruto, is that you kind of end up on this Russian roulette of what you're gonna get and what you don't get. Now, if I could just pick what I was gonna get with my chakra, I'd go chakra for sure. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But I think what I ended up going with, and I get to be the basic B, and I say that often, but I get to be the basic B. I went Ki from Dragon Ball Z. And the reason that I went Ki from Dragon Ball Z is because I feel like at the base it is very simple, but I like the fact that it can always grow and change. And one thing I realize is that even if I'm not a Saiyan or a god per se, I can still find a way to make myself strong enough to fight all of these people if I put my all into it, if I learn from different people, if I get my abilities unlocked from Elder Kai and from the Guru, from Dende. Like, there are different ways I can continue to power up throughout this entire series and continue to get better and better. And not only that, Ki makes its own kind of force field for you. If my Ki is up all the time, I can't get hit with bullets. Remember, Goku couldn't get shot until he was like joking around and he got popped. But before that, whenever they tried to get shot, even in Dragon Ball when he was a little kid, the bullets would never really work because his Ki is kind of always on as a little force field that you can't see. There's like a lot of things that you could do with Ki by making your own techniques, abilities. It makes you really fast. You can fly. It makes you really strong. And if you're really good, God, there are different types of ki, like God ki, you can't sense it, and it does things with reality and stuff like that. There's a lot of different forms and facets of it that does what I want it to do, and I'm always able to kind of change it up and be strong with it and be naturally powerful with it as well, right? If I train to be naturally strong, it boosts my ki. If I practice using my ki in different ways, it continues to enhance the abilities I have and everything, right? We see that in Dragon Ball Z, if you're really strong, you can see people moving really fast while other people can't, right? So even just by increasing my ki, exactly, right? Just by increasing my ki, I get Gyo, right? Just like that. You know what I'm saying? I can enhance my abilities. I can, if I felt super cool, I could do the Vegeta where I make my body strong, or not Vegeta. Shout outs to OG. Shout outs to Master Roshi, my bad, who can just make himself really strong if he wanted to because of the ki that he has, right? There are so many different things, and even watching Master Roshi in his old age go into Tournament of Power and get stronger again shows that I can continue to do this over and over again, even if I'm a human. And Master Roshi has never had his abilities unlocked by Elder Kai, like Krillin did, or even by Dende, who we saw in the Dragon Ball superhero movie, that he still has some extra unlockability stuff that he can do, because Piccolo got even stronger when he got, the orange Piccolo version from the movie, because he was able to unlock his ability even more. There's so much stuff that you can do with ki, and it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's a lot, but it's a lot. Like my man Frieza was shooting eye beams and death beam, right? There are different things that you can do with your ki if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I could be so strong that I can make people just fall to the floor with my ki if I wanted to, from that powerful, like, you know what I'm saying? You get your Goku level on where you can just like punch the moon and break it. Like there are so many, I feel like while it seems basic, right, there are so many pluses to it. And if you're really strong and good at ki, you live longer and have a healthier life. Like it's just, like, that's the reason why Master Roshi's alive for so long, right? So there's so many benefits to it and so many things that you can do with it. I think that even though it's basic, it kind of covers a lot of the things that I would want to do with an ability, right? And some of them, like even like Tien uses his ki to make doubles of himself.
Oh, that's how he does it?
Yeah, that's
I was wondering where he get the shadow clones from.
You know what I'm saying? You can use your ki to do different things. Like Chaozu was like the psychic thing with the telekinesis, right? We saw what's his name did it. The member of Goldo, the member of the
Ginyu Force, right?
Yes, remember he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like there are so many.
Or just blow yourself up.
Yeah, like you can blow yourself up. There's so many different things you can do with
Chaozu, man.
Chaozu, right? So, but that's the thing. So there's so many different things you can do. And at base, it seems like it's nothing, because in Dragon Ball Z, it's always like the basic fights we see all the time. And then there's that one ability that's different, and you only see it for a couple episodes, and that character gets smoked. But then you realize, like, Captain Ginyu was switching bodies with people.
Yeah.
Like,
look at what's his name? Deborah spitting on people, turning them into stone.
You know, like there's so many different things that really can happen, and we just don't see it happen a lot, so we don't think about it all the time. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Majin Buu, he's technically magic, but it's technically ki in Dragon Ball Z, right? But he was turning people to candy. Like, what the heck? So to me, there's just a lot that happens in Dragon Ball Z, and we act like it's not there because it's kind of basic. You know what I'm saying? But
you get to yell and become more powerful.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably why, because they just want to do the Kamehameha and all that other stuff.
yeah, and that's why
about that.
That's why in the Tournament of Power, remember now in Dragon Ball Super, we got to see a little bit more diversity in abilities. Remember with the Ribrian chick, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of those things started happening a little differently when we got to Tournament of Power, to see different people doing different things. With hit stop, come on, time stop?
Hit was OD.
Yo, what the heck? I was like, there's no way. He's wild.
He was ODing.
Fighting in different dimensions. Different dimension warrior.
So, but that's the thing. So I think that I would go with that just because it covers a lot of the bases for me. It does a lot of things that I want, like being able to use my ki to form different abilities. It's kind of like, it's nowhere near as complex as Nen. Nowhere near. Not at all. But obviously that's where Nen comes from, right? Because when I said that they're looking, see things really fast, Nobunaga was like, yo, like he said it immediately. Like, so we know this is kind of like, and that's why I sit with it. Now, are there other ones that I think I could do and pick? Yes, but I'm going ki for the list that is presented. And so that's what I'm going with. I think it's solid for me, and I'm here for it.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, so
solid.
So I'm gonna actually obviously when we're doing this episode, you're gonna see the picture pop up right here, and you're gonna be able to see that list. And I would want you guys in the comment section below to decide what power you're gonna pick and why you feel like it's the best power to pick. Now, before we close this out, I just want us to hit our second and third choice, or second. If you have a second and third, go for it. I named my 2 already, so I literally said chakra and ki. I picked my 2.
That's fine. I got my second.
Go for it. You don't have to really go into depth, just like name it out.
Sure, it's got to be hockey.
I knew it. Yeah, I knew where you were going. Was bad.
You didn't know that. But
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Though?
Yes, I did. There's no way
Hockey?
you wasn't picking hockey on that list. What else did you pick?
Why?
Nobunaga? You're picking hockey over everything else on the list. What else you picking?
Maybe a demon weapon from Soul Eater.
Yeah, right. You're picking hockey.
Why do you smoke like
No,
that?
he might have to go into a little detail.
Little
Men and
little
hockey
detail?
at the same time.
To have both? No, I'm just saying if you were to pick a.
Oh, this is just if you. Oh,
Yeah,
if you can't get.
No, I would
Yeah.
always.
Oh,
always,
that's all I was about
always-
to say. Like,
I
what
will
the-
always pick Nen regardless. Everything on the
No.
list, everything else on the list to me is just But anyways, hockey. If you have all 3 different levels of hockey plus advanced form, that's stupid,
It's kind of
bro.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Because you have full body armor if you wanted to, like Virgo, which was kind of stupid. You have Conqueror's hockey, and then you have the observation hockey. Observation hockey, if you train that to its limits, you can see a couple
future.
seconds into the future. And it's not just that, but you could observe other things on a different higher level. And the Conqueror's hockey in itself, if people are not, how would I say, trained well enough, like if you were to get into some type of altercation wherever, you could easily knock the person out without even touching them because they're not, I guess, trained, or they don't have that type of mental fortitude.
Willpower, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and it goes beyond that too. It's not just that. There's other higher levels to that hockey. So I would pick that for sure. There's a lot to it.
Yeah,
You know,
for
it's
sure.
not just. I would honestly, and if I would have had to think, it would probably be the worst. It might be a quirk, but
You know what's bad?
There's-
I was thinking. No, now that you said it, all right. So Tommy said the worst.
You
So now
laughed like that.
we got to go to the next one. We got to go to the next. All right, Black by Nature, do you got a second? And then say the one that you think is the worst.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with chakra as well. The only reason why I'm going with chakra is because chakra is something that could be implemented in real life. So, say if like you're a spiritual person that likes to meditate, and people like to study chakra points, pressure points in your body, and of course in Naruto they diagram that.
spoken like a
Not
true
saying
Neji
that's-
fan.
Yo, pump mine up. Not saying that that's exactly where the point is at. That's not what that's where the point is at. But like just to see that if you're angry or if your mood is just fluctuated, whatever, that your chakra dictates the output of what it's gonna become. And like I said before, just because it's like it could be implemented in real life, like that's a connection to me per se. And the worst one on the list, I'm gonna pick
I didn't mean to start that though. I just thought of it. But
but it's a good trait though. Good touch.
real
good
quick
touch.
before you say that though, Maurice, when he said meditation, do you know what I thought of?
What?
The abnormal endurance cardio.
Nah, you gotta put that card on screen, man.
Yo, it's Tom took a throwback.
Oh, no.
That's funny.
What's your worst
Oh,
one?
Yeah, what? I'm gonna pick the worst one. The worst one on this list. I'm gonna pick is devil fruits.
Wow. Oh.
Over quirk?
Over quirk?
No, because you pick quirk, so you kind of.
Oh
No,
I'm picking quirk too. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm picking devil fruits.
I'm picking quirk.
Truth be told, I'm with Deem. I'm picking devil fruits for the simple reason
I can
that
see why
I can't swim.
The water, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
No,
the
but
downside.
not even only the water. It's not very similar to chakra, but it might be a little bit worse than chakra because if I'm stuck with a devil fruit one again, like you said with Nen, Tom, it depends on me, and I feel like devil fruits 1000%, and Oda has shown it throughout One Piece that it don't matter what your quirk is if you know what you do. I mean, not quirk. Your devil fruit is if you know what you're doing, you could be good. But I mean, I don't know. Like, what happens if my devil fruit? I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh shit, I'm hungry. I eat damn devil fruit. now I can't swim, and my devil fruit is I can make my nails grow as long as I want them to. Like I don't want to do that. That's boring.
You don't know what fruit it is until you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a catalog. I think
Yes.
I believe some people had a catalog.
What?
Yo, that sounds hilarious.
This dude Blackbeard had
There
the
is,
catalog,
there
bro.
is.
He saw what he wanted.
Oh,
He chose that
that's
joint. He's
funny.
like, I'm not eating the fruit until I see that, and
That's
why
a
he,
fact,
That's
though.
why he killed.
But,
his-
and another
I
thing,
respect
and
it,
another
though.
thing, and
Yeah,
another
seriously.
thing, another reason why I'm picking devil fruit is because, like, say if you're in a fight and you push yourself beyond the limits, exceeding, you know, your limits, using your devil fruit, you're chipping away at your lifespan. So basically, you're killing yourself
What?
fighting.
I thought that was
Am
just
I lying?
Luffy.
That's a law too. If law he said when he's fighting Doflamingo, when he overextends, he keeps using the room. He chips at his lifespan.
You're right. I don't know if that's all devil fruit though. I
Yeah,
can't say.
I don't-
I can't
no,
say for
that's-
sure. I can't say.
That's what I'm
right or
saying.
wrong.
It
But
seems like
yes.
seems like when you push yourself beyond
You're
a certain
right,
limits where
you're
your
right.
body's not trained.
Mm.
But at the
You know, that's
same
like
time,
starving-
too,
that's like-
by
that's like
pushing
starving
yourself
yourself.
too,
That's
you,
like starving
you can
yourself.
awaken your devil fruit ability into something else as well.
Mm.
So
That is true. But
It's kind of,
like I was saying,
I
it's
don't
like say if you're
it's a
say
toss
if,
up
like
right there.
you eat, say if you eat in the morning and like you just keep doing a whole bunch of like shit, running around and chores, whatever. Your body's eating at the nutrients what you ate. Now, when all those nutrients is gone, you know your body, the muscles, tissues, and all that stuff, your body's gonna eat at that because it doesn't. You ain't eating shit. So
I don't mean to like try to
Mhm.
go too far into detail, but I just think Law was so exhausted by trying to activate even more. It's just like using energy that your body doesn't have.
That's what Kenny said. Yeah.
exactly
So-
right.
I mean, obviously that's potentially that can kill you. I mean, you're trying to push your body further than its own
Right.
limits. But I would think, like I said, as I mentioned, the more you use devil fruit, the more accustomed you are to it, and the more you understand it, you have the possibility of awakening it. So, I mean, there's that possibility as well.
Man, but then again, niggas do be living till like they 300 years old. So tripping away at the lifespan.
Well,
never
yeah,
mind.
that's an
I know,
odd
right?
world.
True.
So
But wait, Ed didn't
Go ahead,
pick a
go
second
ahead,
yet. Ed didn't
Yeah,
pick a
go
second
ahead.
yet.
Well, again, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm comboing mine together.
Nah, you cheating. Ain't no combo in here. Get out of here.
All right,
Yeah.
but I'll pick Magic. I always like Magic. I feel like Magic is cool.
You
'Cause,
going with
I
Magic
don't
Fairy
know
Tale
if
or
you-
from Maggie?
Fairy Tale for Maggie? I'm gonna go with Fairy Tale.
Okay.
Maki.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, spoiler alert, I never seen both of those shows. I'm my mind is going based off of like Black Clover style magic.
Okay.
So if I can get that I mean, I get to walk around with a book. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna be reading.
They don't use books in
No
Fairy
mangas,
Tale, from what I
Not
understand.
Yeah, they don't.
But, yeah.
But they
No,
strong.
but
No,
Black
but they're
Clover,
strong
they
though.
use books.
Yeah, they're strong.
No, they are definitely
Oh,
strong.
they're definitely
I just
strong
always
with
think of
Fairy Tale.
Gildarts.
Yeah, Gildart's wild.
Ooh, yo, Tom, chill, man. Come on.
Oh boy, Gildarts was ridiculous. How you got to change the whole town of you coming back? So we got to reconstruct the whole town because this dude's coming back into town.
Yo, that's crazy.
And it's like he's coming there to fight nobody. He's just coming there to chill.
Oh shoot.
Nah, Gildart's OD. Nah, but I mean that's a good second. I actually think Fairy Tale magic is pretty strong.
It is really strong.
I can go into a bunch of different things like that they were able to do with the magic they had in Fairy Tale and how they were able to make that work and the amount of power that it is. And I think that's that's my issue. And I think I realize that now that we're picking seconds. A lot of you guys pick like stuff for creativity, right? You guys are thinking about outside the box. And I'm just like, I want something that's strong, powerful, and looks cool. Right? So like, and I think that's kind of why I ended up picking like Ki and then picking Chakra, because I think of, Chakra can be creative. So, but
Yes.
I also think of the destructive power Chakra has. Like there's a lot of people who be like who don't really watch Naruto and haven't really watched all of Shippuden and only seen the highlights of the Great Ninja War, and they say dumb things like Madara wasn't that strong, and I side-eye
Wait,
for a
what?
second.
That's not a real human being.
Like, because
I mean, you
Madara's
just don't know what you
wild.
don't know. I guess.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Like-
saying? Like the
But
amount
that's
of
why you
power
keep your
he
mouth
had.
shut then.
Word.
The amount of power
No,
Madara
That
had
dude's
is
so
wild.
fucking.
It's wild. My man was
Exactly.
calling down moon-sized meteors just to smoke
2 at a
people.
time.
Anyway, I could go into how wild that is, but yeah, so that would probably be my second. Again, it's my second because you can be born into bloodlines that just don't have cool abilities, and that to me was just made me sad. If I was gonna be born at Uchiha, Or send you. I'm in it.
I'm trying to get the Genkai.
You feel me? I'm trying to get. You know what I'm saying? And there's some ones that are better than even, well, are cooler than those, but those are the ones that come to my mind immediately. But my worst one.
I'd be pissed if I was born into Eno's family or something like that.
So for like my worst one, I definitely have to go with quirks. I feel like even with the creativity of quirks, there's such a limit to what you really can get done with some of them, and a lot of the drawbacks are crazy. Like they'll be like, "Oh, this is really good," so this drawback is going to be absolutely ridiculous. I won't, and I can't exactly. I can't speak to everyone because like we've seen Shadowcat's ability in X-Men, and then we've seen Shadowcat's ability in Lemillion, and those two things are very different. And Lemillion found a way, and they made it make sense in the writing for why Lemillion can use the fact that matter and mass can't exist in the same space to prove why he gets stronger and can catapult himself through things to move faster when he wants to, which is an absolutely genius writing technique. Like shout outs there. That was
very good for
so good.
To make his character do stuff like that.
Yeah, it was good, but I think that after that there are some.
But like you said, it's the drawback. Like if he wasn't able to hold his breath for that long, then he wasn't able to use his ability that well.
Yeah, but there's that. But then like I might come out looking like a lizard person, or like there's just so many random stuff that could happen. Like your quirk could be that you just have fur. That could be your quirk.
Homeboy with the tail.
Yeah, like there are so many quirks that are just not good, and you can end up with those quirks, bro.
with that aspect, you would know what kind of quirk you get based off your parents. You kind of change. So if you like, damn,
so here
my
I am going to school. I was like, all right, I know. I'm like, damn, I got this fucking tail, and here's my classmate. This dude's using fire and ice. Like, bro, like, like, damn,
but,
bro,
I'm born on the wrong end of the
spectrum. Word.
But do what Endeavor did. Do what Endeavor did.
First of all, we do
not
condone that.
What did he do?
I'm not saying not in that per se, but he found a thing. He was like, yo. I want somebody with an ice quirk, so when we make offsprings.
But that's for your kids. That's not for you.
Exactly.
Like, I'm talking about what I end up with, like the quirk that I'm stuck with, maybe it's not my choice. It's something I'm going to be given, and it can be very, very bad or very, very good. There's and you can't, and it's not like other shows where like I train, like you train to get stronger, but it's not like shows where I train and I can increase the level of to my knowledge. Like we've seen, like of course Todoroki's been able to make bigger flames and bigger walls of ice and all that jazz, but that's kind of what it's going to be. He'll get stronger as it goes on, but that's going to be like the gist of it, to my knowledge. Now, until I see something different, I'm going to go with that. There's a reason why All Might, the one for all is, it's one for all. And All Might was leagues ahead of everyone because of how that system works in My Hero. That's just how the system works.
Exactly.
So I don't like the fact that if I get a quirk that's not good, even if I put it to the best that I can be, it's still not going to be able to reach to the upper echelons. I don't have a choice in that matter. I'm stuck where I am.
Yeah,
and let me know in the comment
limited.
section if I'm right or wrong, and if you've seen something that you read further ahead, because I've watched all of My Hero.
At that point, you're just trying to figure out a way to make it better. Like
just like my fault.
I'm just saying, at that point, you're kind of limited to that point, and it's just like you trying to figure out a way in order to like utilize it for something else because it's not going to go beyond it, or you expect something extra from it. Like you kind of got
now. I'm gonna use for example. I don't know why he's in class 1A. Homie that could talk to the birds.
Oh, okay.
That could communicate with the animals.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
I'm gonna just.
I'm just saying. And here's your classmate. Yo, bro.
No, because like now they implemented their own awakening system with the quirks, and it's called quirk something. Basically, like that you're able to awaken your quirk. So you know what I mean. Now, like Maurice said, like he did. So it's characters now that could awaken their quirk, and two of them that did it was Octopus Boy and bitch with that could talk to the birds.
Spoilers.
But spoilers. OD. Thank you guys for watching and chilling with us. And like, I'm really just glad that we were able to talk about these powers and these abilities and get to see some different things and looks on it. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about powers, abilities, where they rank in your mind, what you would have picked, why you picked it, and what the worst is for you. As a matter of fact, let's do this real old school like we used to do in a couple of episodes back in the day. So, in the comment section, name the one ability that you choose. No long reason why if you want to. Name the second one, your second choice, and name the worst one on the list in the comment section. Let us know what those are. I would definitely appreciate to see what you guys are saying, because the point of these things is to have the conversation with you guys. But as always, it's been a pleasure rocking with you guys. A pleasure chilling and having these nerd conversations with y'all. Thanks for rocking with the Hashira podcast the way that you guys have been. Thank you for all the views that we got recently. Thank you for all of the shares and all that stuff. We're going to keep growing as long as you guys keep supporting, and we got a lot of things coming up in this year for you guys. So, as always, keep it locked. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so people know what's going on here. Hit the notification bell, bing, so people know and you know when we put up our next bit of content. As always, do what you can do to make life better for yourself by going for your endeavors, making your dreams come true, and hitting those goals and making those achievements really work for yourself. Support people, because when you support other people, it shows, one, that you care, and two, that you're trying to make life better for them and yourself, because supporting other people makes your life better as well. As always, stay safe and stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.
Out.